everyone. Months of blood grudges, alliances, and betrayals have come to this. We reached the zenith. The stories, the promos, catchphrases, the action have led us to and will lead us through Wrestlemania. The grandest stage of them all will be in the hands of the cerebral assassin for the first time, and I, mesdames and messieurs, am here for every minute. Welcome to the Casualeann, That Wrestling Fan, Wrestlemania 39 predictions. If this is your first time at the Casualeann, That Wrestling Fan channel, take a moment to subscribe, enable notifications so that you know when a new video comes out. I appreciate everyone watching, and there's no time like the present to show that appreciation by getting down to it. So most of the order, I don't know, other than which matches are on which days. But we'll start with what we know is the opener of night one, US Champion Austin Theory versus John Cena. Pretty straightforward. John's giving at this point. He wants to put over new talent, and he's firmly in Hollywood now. He's not gonna be looking to stick around, not as a defending champion, so I expect a strong taking the youngster to the woodshed kind of performance, trying to teach Austin Theory some lessons in humility and whatnot, but Austin Theory will win. It wouldn't surprise me if they don't frame it in his first promo as a victory that marked him, one that's changed him in some way, until he breaks right back into the reliably cocky Johnny Cage parody theory all day. I think we're getting some storm remnants over here, so my apologies if you hear some wind. For the 6-woman tag, Damage Control versus Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. Despite the initial impact Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky had in their arrival at SummerSlam, things have waned a little bit. Even though Becky Lynch has tried to work in the injury she sustained during the match with Bianca as something Damage Control caused, at this point, I think they so much aren't the destination for Becky, Trish, and Lita as they are a stopover to get somewhere else. But that we'll talk about with the Sunday matches. To be honest, I kept forgetting that this wasn't for the Women's Tag Team Championships. That's how kind of slapdash the Women's Tag Team division feels. But a lot of the action will center around the Man, Kai, and Sky, with Trish and Lita coming in and out for signature moves and possibly finishers. Ultimately, the Legends and Becky Lynch will be victorious. Becky's so huge now that may as well be the name for the trio. The Legends. Legends? Legendary. The man, the myth, the legend? But then who's the myth and who's the legend between Trish and Lita? We'll work on it. Or not if Trish turns on them within the next couple of weeks. And so comes our obligatory celebrity bout for the weekend. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. This will be fine. Great, even. Logan Paul is a lot. A whole lot, like cringy a lot. But he's supposed to be, and his in-ring ability cannot be denied. Seth Rollins is one of the best. So this match will be a potential show stealer, a roller coaster through Flying Falls, Buckshot Lariat Alley, and Stomp Mountain. That was not meant to sound like Stone Mountain, by the way. It's just a coincidence. I was concerned about how Seth's slowly becoming a caricature of his own over-the-top character, because I don't want that to hurt the perception that he's a true main eventer. But this match, even in a defeat, should remind the audience of how good he is. Not that they needed one. Logan Paul emerges the winner, but not without a sound beating from the Visionary. In what's being referred to as a WrestleMania showcase match, i.e. a lots of folks match, we have a men's tag team fatal 4-way. Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders versus Alpha Academy. They've come up with just about every combination of making these guys fight on TV other than this configuration, including the 8-man tag on Monday and the singles fatal 4-way last night featuring half of each team. And while usually that's pretty monotonous, I think it's actually gotten me more excited for the match. Between all the high flying, the strength spots, the audience interactions, entertainment, just all the characters, it should be a blast. I've got Ricochet and Braun for the win, but I could almost just as easily see the Street Profits pulling it out. This next one has been the ultimate slow burn. From the history-making first father-son tag team champions to the shirtless betrayal at Clash at the Castle, to months of taunting and disrespect, to the moment that made a 21st century crowd cheer for someone hitting their kid. The tale of Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio has been just lovely. When I heard that there might be an angle involving Rey's Hall of Fame induction, I was kind of worried though, not gonna lie. I was like, Rey needs to have his time. He should not be worried about a storyline at that exact moment. Just let the man soak it in. But it was done so well. Literally, he and the Judgment Day just locked eyes as he came out. And then in the early minutes of his speech, they walked out. Once they were gone, he said, I'll put it this way, I'll handle business tomorrow, which got a massive response from the crowd. But that was it. And that's all you needed. It was perfect. And if you haven't watched Rey's segment of the Hall of Fame, I definitely recommend it. I had no idea he'd had such a hard time, and he and his family sacrificed so much. He doesn't mention the death of Perro Aguayo Jr., which didn't really surprise me, but I was curious as to whether or not he would. But he really put his heart out there, and it was moving for sure. But aside from how magnificent the Hall of Fame angle was, the other development that has me absolutely ecstatic for this match is what happened on Smackdown. Formally recognizing the help and loyalty of Legado del Fantasma, Rey has revived the LWO, the Latino World Order that Eddie Guerrero founded in WCW, largely in response to the brand's disregard for them in the face of the NWO. This feels big, even like the start of a faction war. Or maybe it'll be a one-night thing in reverence of Rey's induction and tribute to Eddie Guerrero. If it's the first one, Dominic may win. If it's the second, they'll probably have Rey putting Dom in his place. But I'm gonna go with Dom winning, with the Judgment Day being able to stoop to depths the LWO won't, and them not having a comparable answer for Rhea. Sorry, Zelina. What more can be said about the best storyline in professional wrestling? People love it, as they should, because with every week, every element of the Bloodline continues to spark our imaginations. The first half of this weekend-long Bloodline reckoning is the Universal Tag Team Championship fight with champions the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Now, to keep this video from being insanely long, I'll say this. This is the final night of the Usos being Universal Tag Team Champions. Sami Zayn and KO are too hot. They've even got the t-shirts going. Oh my goodness. You know what? Zayn sacrificed. He got that taste of the main event, and now he and Kevin are in the tag division. And that's all right. It's going to be a night of high athletic drama, but in the end, Owens and Zayn will get possibly the biggest pop of the night, and the Bloodline will lose 2 or 4 of its crown jewels. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. I don't know whether the Tag Team Championships or the SmackDown Women's Championship is going to main event night 1, but hear me out. I know that the Bloodline is the hot story. I know it's the better told story, but I think Flair Ripley needs the main event. Call it politics if you want, but we can't go backward into the men's matches main eventing both nights every year. We need to go forward with the women's match that main events night 1 being just as compelling a story as the other main event. Bianca and Becky should have main evented last year, but a one-sided couple of months feud with a legend that wasn't even advertised as a match did instead. Sorry, Stone Cold, but it's the truth. And it was great, but not a better story than the 8-month build that started all the way back at SummerSlam with the 26-second squash. But anyway, Rhea is an absolute butt kicker, and she still can be, but I don't know if it'll be as SmackDown Women's Champion. I know that Charlotte has to lose championships to keep winning them so her number of reigns can go up. She's already at Ric Flair late WCW numbers, but neither of those will change tonight. Charlotte retains for now. On to Night 2 Sunday and into the jaws of darkness. In a Hell in a Cell match, there's Edge versus Finn Balor in his demon persona. This is it, right? Please tell me this is the end of the feud. I love Edge and Finn, both. They're amazing, but good grief, we're in the second hour of a 30-minute sermon. But I think creative knows it. So this match has got to deliver not only in action, but in spectacle. And it will. Possible spoiler alert on the entrance here, but there are reports that Gangrel from the Brood is going to join Edge. Also one's about him having a craft beer. And come up with a name in your head. It may be the one that you're thinking of, the Brood. Perfect. I say let's make it a WrestleMania tradition at this point. Every year a legend has a beer that's sewn into the bejeweled fabric of WrestleMania somehow. Acolyte Protection Alency, Dead Man Not Walking, Irish Cursed Stout in about 20 years or so. Why not? I digress. Between Edge from the Brood and the Demon and their combined in-ring ability and characters, this will be an epic contest worth both of them. And hopefully a means for Edge and Finn Balor to move on to something else. Edge wins again. For the Intercontinental Championship, we have a triple threat match. There's the champion Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. I was so scared they were going to lose to Imperium and look like chumps last night, but luckily they made the right decision about that. I'm not sure about this one. I think either Gunther retains and continues his reign of not terror, dominance as Intercontinental Champion, or he loses it on the way into the main event picture. I'd say that last one would be the right move if it were like 2025. He's alluded to how unfair it is that Sheamus and Drew can beat each other and he still lose his championship. But that may be him just being logical. But I can tell you who definitely isn't winning, and that's Drew McIntyre. I hate it. And like Seth, I don't want all this losing to snatch him down into the mid-card. He's going to be the one to take the pin. But from who? Who? Since this is still Gunther's first run, and he hasn't been on the main roster all that long, I say he retains for now. But the three-way rivalry will just keep going. And in a There's No Way I'm Fighting Bray Wyatt match, Brock Lesnar takes on Omos. WWE has really put work in to make this feel like a big fight, pun intended. But in length, nothing, literally nothing, will be smaller. This is a blinker match. Blink and you miss it, or as long as it takes to put your blinker on for a turn, whichever image you want to use here. We'll get a spot or two. Brock will pick Omos up for an F5, and we'll all be thrilled by how the giant was slain by a dude that's still pretty huge. Brock wins. We have the second of our WrestleMania showcase, aka lots of folks matches. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan versus Chelsea Green, and Sonya Deville versus Shotzi and Natalya versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I want to be excited about this match. I'm not. I thought Ronda and Shayna were out of our hair. They're not. I'm just over it. When it comes to the women's tag team championship rivalries, even the titles themselves, they've got to try harder. Make it a priority. Build some people up. Alrighty, rant over. The other three teams are there for varying degrees of selling for Ronda and Shayna, and the two will stand above all the vanquished, drinking in the jeers of the WWE Universe. Then they'll go on at some point to beat Becky and Lita and become the most annoying women's tag team champions ever. I guess hatred is a way to make people care about belts. For the Raw Women's Championship, there's champion Bianca Belair versus Asuka. I know Bianca's been champion for nearly a year, and I know this may end up being a controversial point, but Asuka hasn't had much character development. Not since the reemergence of the Kana Asuka at Elimination Chamber. The mystique of her original run is gone. And without a mouthpiece to navigate the language barrier, I'm skeptical about the one line, "Nobody is ready for Asuka," carrying entire storylines. So until they give her something more, she doesn't need to be champion yet. And I hate that because I love Asuka too, but those are the facts. This isn't as much about Asuka not being a champion as it is about Bianca being a terrific representative for the company, for the championship, and all she's done to reform it. She does deserve to finish a calendar year as champion. If she loses to Asuka, she'll literally lose the Raw Women's Championship on the first anniversary of her winning it. Come on. I've been thinking about this for a while though, and it would not surprise me if Bianca wins on Sunday and then Rhea having lost to Charlotte on Saturday, challenges Bianca for a title shot that night on the Raw after Mania. Rhea then wins. Bianca has had her third WrestleMania win and full calendar year reign. And Rhea is a new champion on the same show as the rest of the Judgment Day. I don't know. I sure wouldn't like it, but it wouldn't surprise me. With or without that scenario, I still say Bianca needs to retain, and I'll go with my heart and say that she is. And in the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, our WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, will contend with a man who intends to finish the story, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I love Roman Reigns. I acknowledged him before acknowledging him was cool, before acknowledging him was a thing. I love Roman when the crowd loathed him and wasn't supposed to. Like, I'm not a good guy, I'm the guy Roman. And before that, he is the star of WWE. But he's only part-time now. WWE has to learn to get along without him, because when he follows the Rock's formula and tips out finger up, there's got to be somebody else there. Preferably someone's else. Plain and simple. The people need a full-time champion. Is Cody that champion? The crowds are definitely behind him. It's good to see the top guys wrestle on TV, like your Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Bobby Lashley. He works. Cody's a champion of the people before he carries the championship his father never got to wield. I just don't know. Usually, Roman has the crowd in his pocket with the insert your city here, acknowledge me. It's the most baby face-ish thing he does. But critically, he didn't do that on Smackdown. He said he didn't care if they did, because it was Cody's turn to acknowledge him. I don't know why, but that felt like a tipping point for his egomania. It was, for whatever reason, the clearest signal to me that he might actually lose on Sunday. With that, you can have workhorses like Seth Rollins be in contention, as he should be. On the other hand, having the Usos lose but Roman win could be a way for Roman to become even more of a jerk towards them, pushing Jay over the edge. If Roman could reach a 1,000-day reign as champion and Jay were the one to knock him off, family doing what's right at the expense of family, that would be huge. And it could even be a way to split the championships up if Jay wanted to throw the Rhodes family legacy into Cody's face and only put the WWE championship on the line. This whole story is so good. There is no wrong turn. I have no idea. I'm like 50-50 on this, but we'll say that Cody Rhodes defeats Roman Reigns and becomes the WWE Undisputed Universal American USA of all the world in your city and all the cities of the galaxy champion. Adrenaline in my soul, we better see Randy Rhodes. I'm an idiot. That's all there is to it. What do you think? Who's winning and losing at WrestleMania? Which matches are you most looking forward to? Who's gonna have the craziest entrance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and tap that bell icon to make sure you get notifications when new videos come out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.